We traveled to the Nordic countries, Norway and Denmark. In Norway, we had a pleasant trip in the capital city, Oslo, and also traveled to a quaint town called Bergen. From Bergen, we traveled to Denmark, specifically Copenhagen, which is a city with calm yet electric energy. Oslo is the capital and most populous city of Norway. It is also the economic and governmental center of Norway. The city is also a hub of Norwegian trade, banking, industry and shipping. It is an important center for maritime industries and maritime trade in Europe. Oslo is considered a global city and ranked number one in terms of quality of life among large European cities in the European Cities of Future 2012 report. Holmenkollbakken is a large ski jumping hill. It has a capacity for 70,000 spectators. Holmenkollen has hosted the Holmenkollen Ski Festival since 1892, which since 1980 have been part of the FIS Ski Jumping World Cup and 1983 the FIS Nordic Combined World Cup. It has also hosted the 1952 Winter Olympics and the FIS Nordic World Ski Championships. The hill has been rebuilt 19 times. Important upgrades include a stone takeoff, an in-run superstructure and a new superstructure. During the Second World War, the venue was used as a military installation. Sculpture Park is in Frogner Park with more than 200 sculptures by Gustav Vigeland in bronze, granite and cast iron, including the Angry Boy, the Monolith and the Wheel of Life. Vigeland was also responsible for the design and architectural outline of the park. One of Norway's top tourist attractions with more than 1 million annual visitors. At the highest point in Frogner Park lies the park's most popular attraction, the monolith, and in this case is a genuine monolith, being fabricated from one piece of solid stone. Construction of the massive monument began in 1924 when Gustav Vigeland modeled it in clay in a studio in Frogner. The design process took 10 months and it is supposed that Vigeland used sketches drafted in 1919. A model was then cast in plaster. At the end of the installation's axis, there is a sundial forged in 1930 and finally the Wheel of Life stone sculpture carved 1933 to 1934. The wheel depicts 4 adults, a child and a baby. Oslo is a compact city. It is easy to move around by public transportation and rentable city bikes are accessible to all over the city center. In 2003, Oslo received the European Sustainable City Award and in 2007, Reader's Digest ranked Oslo as number 2 on a list of the world's greenest, most livable cities. The city of Oslo has set the goal of becoming a low-carbon city and reducing greenhouse gas emissions 95% from 1990 levels by 2030. The Climate Action Plan for the Port of Oslo includes implementing a low-carbon contracting process and installing shore power for vessels which are docked. The Fram Museum is a museum telling the story of Norwegian polar exploration. Fram Museum is in an area with several other museums, including the Kon-Tiki Museum, the Norwegian Museum of Cultural History, the Viking Ship Museum, and the Norwegian Maritime Museum. The official summer residence of the King of Norway is also located nearby. The Fram Museum honors Norwegian polar exploration in general and three great Norwegian polar explorers in particular, Fridtjof Nansen, Otto Sverdrup, and Roald Amundsen. The museum also exhibits images of the fauna of the polar regions such as the polar bears and penguins. The Fram Museum is centered principally on the original exploration vessel Fram. The original interior of Fram is intact and visitors can go inside the ship to view it. Fram was commissioned, designed and built by Scots Norwegian shipbuilder Colin Archer to specifications provided by Norwegian architect explorer Fridtjof Nansen, who financed the building of the ship with a combination of grant monies provided by the Norwegian government and private funding in 1891. In May 2009, the Norwegian Maritime Museum and the Fram Museum signed an agreement for the Fram Museum to take over the exhibition of the Geo of the first vessel to transit the Northwest Passage.
Christmas, except for Captain Nielsen, who stayed alone at the helm. The entire crew assembled at the...
Roald Amundsen and a crew of 6 accomplished that feat in a 3-year journey which was finished in 1906. In 2017, the ship was made fully accessible to visitors.
Слушайте.
Bergen in Westland County on the west coast of Norway. As of 2021, its population is roughly 285,900. Bergen is the second largest city in Norway after national capital Oslo. The city center and the northern neighborhoods are on Byfjorden, the city fjord, and the city is surrounded by mountains. Bergen is known as the city of seven mountains. Many of the extra municipal suburbs are on islands. Trading in Bergen may have started as early as on 1020s. According to tradition, the city was founded in 1070 by King Olav and was named the Green Meadow among the mountains. It served as Norway's capital in the 13th century and from the end of the 13th century became a bureau city of the Hanseatic League. Until 1789, Bergen enjoyed exclusive rights to mediate trade between northern Norway and abroad, and it was largest city in Norway until the 1830s when it was overtaken by the capital Christiania, now known as Oslo. What remains of the quays, Briggen, is a World Heritage Site. The city was hit by numerous fires over the years. The Bergen School of Meteorology was developed as the Geophysical Institute starting in 1917. The Norway School of Economics was founded in 1936 and the University of Bergen in 1946. From 1831 to 1972, Bergen was its own county. In 1970, the municipality absorbed four surrounding municipalities and became a part of Hordaland County. Copenhagen is the capital and most populous city of Denmark, with a population of around 1.4 million in the urban area and more than 2 million in the wider Copenhagen metropolitan area. The city is on the islands of Zealand and Amager. Originally a Viking fishing village established in the 10th century in the vicinity of what is now Gammelstrand, Copenhagen became the capital of Denmark in the early 15th century. The city flourished as the cultural and economic center of Scandinavia under the Union for well over 120 years, starting in the 15th century up until the beginning of the 16th century, when the Union was dissolved with Sweden leaving the Union through a rebellion. After a plague outbreak and fire in the 18th century, the city underwent a period of redevelopment. This included construction of the prestigious district of Frederiksstaden and founding of such cultural institutions as the Royal Theatre and the Royal Academy of Fine Arts. After further disasters in the early 19th century, when Horatio Nelson attacked the Dano-Norwegian fleet and bombarded the city, rebuilding during the Danish Golden Age brought a neoclassical look to Copenhagen's architecture. Later, following the Second World War, the Finger Plan fostered the developing of housing and businesses along the 5 urban railway routes stretching out from the city centre. Copenhagen has seen strong urban and cultural development facilitated by investment in its institutions and infrastructure. The city is the cultural, economic and governmental center of Denmark. It is one of the major financial centers of Northern Europe with the Copenhagen Stock Exchange. Copenhagen's economy has seen rapid developments in the service center, especially through initiatives in information technology, pharmaceuticals and clean technology. Since the completion of the Øresund Bridge, Copenhagen has become increasingly integrated with the Swedish province of Scania and its largest city, Malmö, forming the Øresund region. With a number of bridges connecting the various districts, the cityscape is characterized by parks, promenades and waterfronts. Copenhagen's landmarks such as Tivoli Gardens, the Little Mermaid statue and Amalienborg and Christiansborg palaces, Rosenborg Castle, Frederiks Church, Bosen and many museums, restaurants and nightclubs are significant tourist attractions. Copenhagen is home to the University of Copenhagen, the Technical University of Denmark, Copenhagen Business School and the IT University of Copenhagen. The University of Copenhagen, founded in 1479, is the oldest university in Denmark. The annual Copenhagen Marathon was established in 1980. Copenhagen is one of the most bicycle-friendly cities in the world. Just north of the city centre, Østerbro is an upper-middle-class district with a number of fine mansions, some now serving as embassies. The district stretches from Norway to the waterfront, where the Little Mermaid statue can be seen from the promenade known as Langelinie, inspired by Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale. It was created by Edvard Eriksson and unveiled in 1913. Not far from the Little Mermaid, the old citadel can be seen. Built by Christian IV, it is one of the Northern Europe's best preserved fortifications. There is also a windmill in the area. The large Jeffon Foundation, designed by Anders Bundgaard and completed in 1908, stands close to the southeast corner of Kastellet. Its figures illustrate a Nordic legend. Old section of Copenhagen's inner city is often referred to as Middelalderbergen, the medieval city. However, the city's most distinctive district is Frederiksstaden, developed during the reign of Frederick V. It has the Amalienborg Palace at its center and is dominated by the dome of Frederiks Church and several elegant 18th century Rococo mansions. The inner city includes Stolholmen, a little island on which Christiansborg Palace stands, and Christianshavn with its canals. Bosen on Slottsholmen and Frederiksborg Palace is Hillerød are prominent examples of the Renaissance style in Copenhagen. Around the historical city centre lies a band of congenial residential boroughs dating mainly from late 19th century. They were built outside the old ramparts when the city was finally allowed to expand beyond its fortifications.